12-yard line. Haskins in the backfield, hasn't touched it yet. Here's Patterson going through his progressions. Fires, sideline.
Nice find to Ronnie Bell here on 3rd and long. Michigan State only sends 3. These defensive tackles are going to the outside to try to clear up the space for this middle linebacker up the middle. Michigan's keeping in all 5 linemen, and then they have Haskins on pass protect as well before he leaks out to the flat. So you really have 6 on 3 here for pass protection. So you got 2 guys per defender here, actually 1-on-1 on the outside, but no real pass rush at the time that Patterson is scrambling here, given that the coverage, nothing is really open. You have Nico Collins on a crossing route here. You're going to have Ronnie Bell, who eventually gets the ball. He's going on this sort of crossing route. Sean McCune's going on kind of a skinny, I guess you call this a post route? Yeah, skinny post route. And then you have a hitch out of DPJ on the outside. So like I said, no pressure here. It looks like Patterson is looking for Nico Collins here. It's also possible he's looking at this guy to see if Ronnie Bell's coming open, but he does have some guys that he's running into here. So I'm guessing this is what he was looking at, which doesn't really make sense given it's 3rd and long, but that's what I'm seeing. So again, here's your route. Sean McCune's going here. You're going to have sort of crossing route and then a hitch route out of DPJ. You'll see Nico Collins coming from the right side here. So again, it looked like over here, Patterson is reading this coverage. Nothing's really open right now, so appropriate that he's scrambling this way. This is where he had some room. He does get a little pressure at the end of here, forcing him to throw, but Ronnie Bell has enough space here that Patterson recognizes, delivers a nice ball, and it's a 1st down.
Haskins has done a tremendous job. 2nd down and 7. Here's Patterson to throw it. Patterson steps up in the pocket, buys time across the middle.
Patterson finds St. Ristel on a bit of a scramble here. Michigan State is sending 4 in the pass rush, both defensive ends and then defensive tackles, no stunts or anything. Snap looks a little late. Looks like the tackles could have moved a bit early here, but got away with it. So you have the 5 linemen for Michigan plus McCune, who will handle Panashuk on the edge, the dirtiest player in the Big Ten. McCune does an okay job with Panashuk. This is about 9 yards deep he's getting, so not terrible. Could have done a little bit better. Good job from Jalen Mayfield here on the right side to recognize this and help out here. Running gets pushed back a little bit more than I would have liked to see, so a combination of this guy getting kind of around the edge and this defender pushing running back forces Patterson out of the pocket here. Looking at routes, Hassan Haskins came on motion before going into the flat here. You're going to have a post route from Nico Collins. You're going to have an out and up route down the sideline here for DPJ, and then a little curl route here for St. Ristel. Eventually, after the scramble, you'll see St. Ristel is the one who comes out here on for the scramble that Patterson finds. So looking at his eyes, it seems like he's reading this defender, or at least this action, to try to see if Nico Collins will be open. There is a deep safety up here to deal with as well. What's happening here is it's zone coverage, so this guy will be covering this wheel route, or at least whatever this deep area is that Nico Collins is initially on before this safety will pick up anything here. This guy will initially cover anything DPJ is running, as well as Haskins. So nothing's really open initially, and that's why Patterson's first read, nothing materializes there because the zone beats it. It's a good job on the scramble, forcing Ristel to find this area. If the throw is a bit higher, he has a ton of room to operate in. Unfortunately, the throw is low, given Patterson was on the run, so accuracy could have done better. What I really like here, St. Ristel secures the catch, rolls onto his back. There's no doubt that this ball does not hit the ground. It's a really nice job of securing that catch.
But Sanders still comes up with it nonetheless. 1st down and 10 to the 32. Here's the reverse. Giles Jackson's got speed.
Giles Jackson on an end around here for about 20 yards. Really beautiful play design. Let's look at the backside blocks. You're going to have Eubanks, Mayfield, Onwenu, Ruiz, and Bredesen all blocking backside. That's just to clear any of these defenders who are coming up or flowing to the play here. Any of these guys backside, just make sure they're eliminated. So looking at those 5 players, this wall is forming. No one is getting through, and Bredesen will get this linebacker flowing to the play. So they all accomplish their job. Runyon on the left side, play side, he is going to seal off this defensive tackle. Just don't allow him, or defensive end, sorry, don't allow him into the backfield. And also once they start flowing to the play, you're that final stopgap, right? Rest of the action here, and the key action here is that this looks like split zone. So Haskins up the middle here. It looks like Patterson is reading this area here for these defenders. You also have McCune coming across. You know, this is either split zone. He can be blocking here. It could be an arc read where he's going around and blocking this way. It could be a pass where he's going out on a route and Patterson delivers a pass. That actually happens later on. So that forces these defenders to really react to what McCune is doing and what this action actually means in the backfield. And then finally, you're going to have Giles Jackson receiving the handoff on this sweep, something I don't think we've really seen before. So, like I said, that handoff, this whole action with split zone, that forces these guys all to be reactionary. And that allows time for McCune to actually get to the outside, deal with these blockers. It allows time for Giles Jackson to get out around the edge. These guys have no chance on making that play initially, and McCune gets a head start on getting to the edge for these two blocks. He recognizes that this guy takes a bad angle. Jackson will beat that. And McCune correctly identifies that this is the guy who he needs to block. Meanwhile, you have Nico Collins getting a really nice block here. This is about the maximum amount of yards you can expect on this play. Really well executed.
Patterson pulls it out, drops it down, caught. Ronnie Bell cuts it inside.
Nice little RPO to Ronnie Bell here. So let's look at Michigan's run action blocking here. So you're going to have John Roney Jr. one-on-one at a defensive end. Double between Ruiz and Bredesen on this defensive tackle. Double right here between Mayfield and Onwenu. You're going to have this linebacker actually comes up. That Onwenu will drop off and pick up, but he kind of buries himself in the line. You'll have McCune coming across to pick up. The conflict player for this RPO is this gentleman here. This is where Patterson's eyes will go, and that's because you have 6 players in the box here. If this guy comes up and runs support, that gives you 7-on-6, so a throw to this action is better. If he goes out in pass coverage, that covers one of these guys, that leaves 6-on-6 for the run action, and that is in theory beneficial. So the blocking actually is there. If this block is picked up, and the run action seemed like actually a counter here off of whatever this block from McCune is, that would be the run action. So it looks like McCune actually misses this block, but that's where the play would have gone. Given that this guy goes up, it's interesting that we've usually seen the RPOs from Michigan come on a slant, right? I think it would generally be Ronnie Bell in this situation, given he's the inside guy. But really, you have Nico Collins running a slant here. This is traditionally what it would be. Instead, you have Ronnie Bell going on this sort of flat route. They must have seen something with how off these safeties are playing, that this is a lot of room to give Ronnie Bell here on the outside. And you can see it's a really quick throw. I like how quick Patterson gets out of the mesh point once he sees this guy coming out. He's not a factor in this pass. At the time that Ronnie Bell catches the ball, this is a lot of room to operate. He's a very shifty guy. His odds of beating this one-on-one matchup are pretty good. He does exactly that, delivers a nice stiff arm, and that's a win. You get a first down, you get about 10, 15 yards here, and it's 1st and goal.
All right, Michigan running the ball, and they pick up the first down.
Nice bit of running here from Charbonnet on this ISO play. Sorry for the poor quality. I'm not sure what happened here. So the ISO play here, let's look at the right side of the line first. So you got McCune on one-on-one block, same with Mayfield one-on-one. Onwenu is reaching for this linebacker. He will get there. And then a key block here from Ruiz to block off. This is where the run wants to go off of his left butt here through the one hole. And that's where Ben Mason is going to go as well. So these 4 guys are just responsible for kind of sealing this, forming the right side of this hole. Ruiz could be a little more head up on him. He's starting to lose late, and you see that Charbonnet makes a slight adjustment, I think, because of he's losing this block. But overall, he does a good job. Looking at the left side, really good double team between Runyon and Bredesen here. Bredesen will eventually get off of this double into 21, but really they take Panashuk into the linebacker, so that's a really good job here. They get a lot of gain of yards here. And then the isolated linebacker here for Ben Mason is right here, who decides to undercut Mason, and a bit of a possible hold you could call on Ben Mason here, but I think that's a wash given that this guy goes and tunnels under. This defensive back, actually, number 19, almost makes the play, and Charbonnet gets a really good read on this play. Thankfully, Charbonnet is able to break through that, but given that this block, goes home, this crazy double that allows Bredesen to get to this linebacker, good bit of running from Charbonnet opens up a nice second effort here as Bredesen is getting the pancake here. Collins was engaged here. You got Tariq Black as well. So everyone's really doing well on their blocks too. It looks like a small hole with some contested run, or a little bit of contested run there from Charbonnet, but he does well to pick up the maximum amount of yards he could on this play.
5, Charbonnet, the big back in the game. Patterson pulls it down. 5.
Play action pass all the way here to Eubanks. Let's look at the backside here. So you're just going to have one-on-one blocks here. Just on the backside, just making sure no one gets through. This is all pass blocking, despite looking like it's sort of an RPO, and then you're going to have Eric All coming across. And the key to this is it looks like it's split zone, right? It looks like you could possibly have Charbonnet coming here. Eric All looks like he could be picking up a block on the edge. And that's all designed to freeze these guys, right? If you make the run look like it's going up the middle, you're going to get this flow, you're going to get this hesitation, and that's going to free up routes on the outside from All and Eubanks to the outside here, as well as freezing the safety. That's critical. So everyone on the backside does well here. No one's getting through. It's a pretty quick throw here. Good job by Charbonnet to help Bredesen here. Just make sure no one's leaking through. And also something to point out is that Mayfield does a really good job not getting more than 3 yards downfield. He stops. He could go for this linebacker, but then he holds up. He realizes, this is a pass, can't get illegal man downfield. I think Patterson is keeping his eyes on this safety, seeing his reaction to this route that Eubanks is on, and I think he knows right away. He gave a quick little check over here as well for this guy, and it's wide open here to the left side of the end zone. So, his first look was over here, both to try to freeze these guys, I think, freeze these defenders, but also get a sense of if they're dropping back into his zone. So Eric All is coming out here. You got Eubanks out here, 2-route option here, and honestly, you had both of them. If this safety was covering here, it looks like Eric All has the advantage here. Tougher throw, of course, but Eubanks is the right move here. Delivers a nice ball. Ball's a little bit high here. But again, I'm just amazed look at these defenders. They could, if they're screaming upfield, they could very well make this play, but it's just the continued split zone action with Charbonnet up the middle, with possible keeps from Patterson that keep them at home, and that allows Patterson to find this really nice throw. Could be, a little bit more to the outside, a little bit more lofted here, but Eubanks is an athletic guy, goes up and gets it for a touchdown.
4 on third down conversions today. Patterson fires, caught, Ronnie Bell down the sideline.
Great catch here for Ronnie Bell on a really tough fade. Throws a little bit outside, but Michigan State's going to be bringing 4 in the pass rush. This defensive tackle's going to his left a little bit. This is to try to open up a stunt here between these two defenders. You'll have Jacob Panishuk coming through on the stunt here. The other two guys are just coming upfield. Michigan keeps in 5 plus Charbonnet a little bit. Looks like Charbonnet is going out to the flare route here, so giving it a quick throw at the time of the throw, protection is completely fine. Looking at routes, you're going to have a crossing route out of Tariq Black here. Sean McCune is going to go on a little curl. Same with Donovan Peoples-Jones. Make sure he gets an outside release here. That's going to free up this fade to Ronnie Bell, who will get the pass here. The defender starts falling almost immediately, so it's not great for him. I think he's the same guy who fell on Donovan Peoples-Jones' touchdown last year. Really great catch. So he's initially expecting this over on this side. Instead, it's pretty high and to the outside. To make that adjustment with the overhead catch here, that is really difficult. So good job by Ronnie Bell there, and then shows off some speed, getting an extra 15 yards or so.
Basketball court, 1st and 10 at the 18. Patterson, near side, Donovan Peoples-Jones, making people miss, sprinting.
Check down to DPJ here, who takes advantage of it. Michigan State's only sending 4 in the pass rush here. Pretty straight up, no stunts or anything. Michigan is keeping in, I believe, 6 here on the pass cover or pass protection here, with McCune in on the left side, kind of as an H-back. So yeah, at the time of the throw coming up here, you got a double here. You got 2 guys to account for this defensive tackle, and then one-on-one blocks here. They're all doing a really good job. Good job, especially from John Runyon, getting, or is that John Runyon? No, Mayfield on getting Willekes inside. He's definitely one of their best edge defenders. Routes for the Wolverines here. You're going to have St. Ristel on a deeper crossing route. This is Nico Collins. I think he's doing a corner route here. Then you got Giles Jackson coming out into kind of a flat and up wheel route on the sideline. And then on motion here, you got DPJ in this flare. This is where the ball will go. So it's a flood concept with St. Ristel, kind of a late option here. But everyone else is a flood concept for this sort of the eyes for Patterson to go this way. The ball's, you're cutting the read essentially in half just for this 3-level concept. So initially his eyes go straight towards the safety. I'm guessing he's trying to see if he's going to be following Nico Collins, because then that'll put Michigan at a numbers advantage with both DPJ and Giles Jackson getting out here. So the safety drops back. Patterson makes the decision to get the ball to DPJ. He does a little stop and go move here, makes both of these guys' angles look silly, and dives in for a touchdown.
Patterson delivers.
Fade here to Tariq Black. Nice to see him contribute here a little bit. So pretty straight up from the defensive line. You're going to have 4 rushers with this. I think this is outside linebacker. He's going to be looping around here, and these defensive linemen are just going to be going down, trying to occupy the interior offensive line for this stunt. Unfortunately, this guy falls down, and this isn't going to get home. That'll create a nice pocket for Patterson. You can see at the time of the throw here, really nice wall off here. This is the guy who's late, who fell on the stunt, and then you got one-on-one block here, executed well from Mayfield. So no issues at the time of the throw. Looking at routes, you're going to have a crossing route out of Nico Collins, fade from Tariq Black. This is what we'll get thrown to. You have kind of a out and up route from, I think this is Giles Jackson. And then you're going to have McCune on what looks like a little curl in the middle of the field here. And then True Wilson will float out here to the flat as a safety valve. So the eyes for Patterson immediately go out to, I think, this boundary, seeing what the coverage on Tariq Black is. If this guy goes back into zone, this is the guy to read. He might also be looking at this guy, but I think it's him because it is going to Tariq Black, and if it's one-on-one coverage, that's a good matchup for Michigan. Good job by Tariq Black to go up and get this ball. Shows good hands here. He could be getting interfered with here as well. It's closer to a bang-bang play, but it could have been called. But good, strong hands from Tariq Black to pull it down. He gets a ridiculous taunting penalty after this. I don't blame him for flexing. It was a good play.
Patterson over the middle.
Nice pickup on 3rd and long here. MSU is going to bring 4 on pass rush, this defensive tackle. And they have 3 guys overloaded on this left side. They're all coming to this left side here with the hopes that Ruiz will not recognize it fast enough to get out here to help the other 2 linemen. So let's see what happens here. And you can see it actually works. You got 3 guys here that are rushing with only 2 engaged here for Michigan. Ruiz is in no man's land. On the other side, you have one-on-one from Runyon. So Onwenu saves it by pushing this number 21, I think, into the other lineman. And this actually gives Patterson a really nice pocket. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He's got plenty of room to step up if needed as well. Looking at the routes, you're going to have sort of this go route, but Black is getting to the sideline here. You have, I think, just more verticals on the bottom of the screen with Nico Collins on the outside, Ronnie Bell in the slot, and then McCune is running a skinny post. This is the first read all the way, and this is the safety that we have to worry about and try to get him off of this route. So Patterson's going to accomplish this with his eyes. Right away, he's looking at this outside route. He's really, I think, reading that safety still, but he's looking this way just to get the motion of this safety towards the sideline to open up this skinny post. Only at the last final second does he look where he's throwing, which is to McCune. These guys do not have enough depth on this, and McCune's able to get over the top. If the throw is a little bit less out in front of him, he could catch in stride. But see, this is what I'm talking about, where Tariq Black is getting as wide as possible. And the eyes of Patterson, sorry about the quality here, force this safety to have his hips turn this way. Ball's already in the air. It's coming this way. There's no way he can make a play on where the ball is going. Would like to see a better throw, but nice catch by McCune for a big third down pickup.
22, Charbonnet in the backfield. Patterson to throw, steps, caught!
First play after the big punt block from Cleek Hudson. Michigan State's only sending 4 on the pass rush, no stunts or anything. The 4 you see are the 4 you get here. They're dropping these 3 linebackers into zone coverage, but they're still keeping one-on-one coverage between these gents, and then same on the other side with the cornerback and safety here. So Michigan is looking for a big play here. Let's look at the pass protection. No issues whatsoever. Spin move not doing anything. Bredesen's doing fine. Ruiz, you got an extra and Winnie rolling around. And then you got Mayfield on the right side. You could say Wilkes is getting appropriate pass rush here at this depth. I think it's okay. Patterson does step up, but he's stepping into the throw as well. Looking at the route, you're going to have this little out and up the sideline from Ronnie Bell. Post route. Right here, this is what's actually being thrown to for Nico Collins. You're going to have a in route here. It's actually going to be a little more outside release in route from McCune. And then you're going to have a kind of a stutter step before it's a little crossing route, a little bit more shallow than McCune's route. And then Charbonnet out of the backfield into the flats here on a little flare. So if we back up, the read all the way is looking at this zone. This is where the pass is going to go. So he's going to check on the guy in single coverage right about now on Nico Collins. So it's a combination of seeing no one going into this depth area right at the goal line, plus seeing the single coverage. Man-to-man on Nico Collins. He's going to win that 99.9% of the time. Throws a nice high ball. I love the ball placement there. No one is going to contest that pass. Let Nico Collins go up and get it. He does. It looks really easy for 6.
Maryland and Rutgers.
Boy, they're going to score 80?
Well, I'm talking about in terms of sacks, and it's caught. Looks like another touch.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. To pile on here at the end, I'm all for it. Let's look at the blocking scheme. It's going to look like split zone. So this is going to be main double here. You're going to have a double between Onwenu and Ruiz before Ruiz drops off for this linebacker who comes up. This linebacker will also come up after this double executed here. One-on-one block on the back side from Mayfield. You're going to bring McCune across here. Now, generally he would, if it's an arc block, he'll go around and seal. If it's a split zone, he'll make contact with defensive end. He's really just kind of staggering here because he's in pass protection, right? This is where Patterson is going to roll out here. He just wants to make sure he holds anyone flowing this way up from getting to this action. Then you got Haskins faking inside on the split zone look. And then you got blocks here, blocks initially from all wide receivers. It looks the same, except, surprise, Cornelius Johnson is actually on a route. This is the key to this play. You're throwing all your eggs in one basket, and it works. So looking at the blocking here, nothing coming for Patterson. This linebacker does come up, but McCune is here to kind of give this last line defense there. Split zone did its job with fooling the safety who's coming up. This block looks certainly like any other block, and only now does anyone notice that, this is a pass at this point. It's really good timing from Johnson of getting off of that block at the right time. So they clearly have practiced this before. This is great to put into the mind of cornerbacks. Do I fight off the blocks Do I, if this guy's coming up in run support, now he has to worry about covering over the top on a possible situation like this. So it really puts this on film to put the fear in the defenders to always stick to their keys. And is it a block? Is it really not a block and this is a route? Who's to say? And that's another way you beat up on little brother. So it's a fun one.